This video is to show you how to make an XY plot, or what's called a scatter plot, in Excel. And I'm going to go ahead and do this using the statistical review of world energy data, because that's what you're going to be using for your homeworks. So if you look on the screen, I've got the spreadsheet open already. You can see there's a contents tab, which is the first tab. If you click on any of these links, like primary energy and exajoules, you click on that link, it goes to the spreadsheet. That actually is the data you're going to be using for one assignment. I'm going to find something else for us to look at. So if we scroll down, let's look at natural gas. So they've got reserves, gas production, gas consumption. So let's look at gas production in BCM is billion cubic meters. Not interested in that. That's not oil filled units. So we're going to use BCF. So if I click on that, it takes me to the tab. You can see the indicator down here, gas production in BCF. So what I want to do is, let's say I want to look and see who the top 10 producers of natural gas in the world are. So the spreadsheet's organized by region, and then has each line is a different country, and it goes down to the bottom, which is the world data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort the data, and sorting is something you need to learn how to do in Excel. So I'm going to start here in row 4 and go all the way to the farthest right on the spreadsheet using the cursor key. And while I'm doing this, let me start over. So I took the mouse, I clicked on cell A4, then I held the shift key down, and now anywhere I go, Excel will select all that space. I went too far, I need to come back. And now I'm going to go down with the cursor key. And the last row I'm going to choose is so I've got all of the spreadsheet selected. And what I want to sort on is column BD, which is the 2023 data. So I want to basically, oops, that's growth rate. So column BC actually, which is 2023 production data. All these last three columns are not actual data values. They're growth rate per year for 2023 and for the 10-year period 2013 to 2023. And then the percent share of world production that whatever the gas production is for that country takes up. Okay, so we're going to sort on column BC. So I go up here to data. Data is where the sort menu is. So I click on sort, and I want to sort, like I said, by column BC. So I need to scroll down and find column BC, and I want to sort from largest to smallest. Okay, and if we look at that now, we can see, obviously, I guess, the total world production is the largest. Total North America is second largest, and then third largest is the United States. So that's the first country. So the United States as a country is the biggest producer of gas in the world, which we talked about before. Number 2 is Russia, which is about half the production of the United States. Number 3 is Iran, which is about half the production of Russia. So in order to make a plot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select some rows. So I click the mouse on 2023. This is the X value for my plot. Put down the shift key, and I'm going to scroll back to the beginning of the spreadsheet. So now I've selected every year. It goes back to 1970. Now I want to pick another row. So if I click on the mouse again, I'll lose what I just selected. So I need to hit the control key and then click on the cell I want to choose. And now I'm going to hit the shift key, and I'm going to go back. Oops. I'm going to go back to there. Now I've selected the United States. If I hit the control key, hit shift and hit the left cursor, I go back and select all of Russia, hit the control key, click on Iran for 2023, shift key down. I select that, hit the control key, click the mouse, put the shift key down, left cursor, and I'll include total Europe here. Okay, so let's control C to copy all those cells. I'm going to create a new spreadsheet, and I'm going to paste values only, not formats. Okay, and this is in billion cubic feet per day. I'm going to move that out of the way because when you do an XY plot and you select all the data you want to plot, that cell in the corner needs to be empty in order for Excel to properly make the plot. Notice Russia is all zeros here. That's because it was a USSR back then. So if we go back to the data spreadsheet and find USSR for those years, that is right here, USSR, and I'm going to select from 1970 to 1984. I'm going to copy that, go to my new spreadsheet and paste that data into that section. Okay, now I've got a complete data set. I went through this pretty quickly about how to handle and copy things. The other way you could do this is you could go back to this spreadsheet and we could just select, I want to do the United States, select everything all the way down to the last country I'm interested in. So total Europe, and then select all the way to the right over to BC. Okay, total Europe. Copy that, go to my new spreadsheet. Let's make a new tab. Paste it as data only, no formats. And then delete the stuff I don't want. So I can click on the row number and drag down. Okay, get rid of all those. So right click, delete. Select all those guys, right click, delete. Total Africa, right click, delete. And that's it. Okay, so now I've got the data set again. I'll put a blank line in the top so I could move my billion cubic feet per day out of the way. Okay. So I've got the data either way now. Let's go back to my original one. So I'm going to click in that blank square. I'm going to hit the shift key and the control key. It'll go down, go down to the furthest down row, and then hit the right key and it'll go out to the furthest right row. Okay, if I hit it too many times, it'll go all the way to the edge of the spreadsheet. So I went too far. You can see I've selected past BC, so if I click the left cursor key, it comes back. So just to look at this, I've selected all the data. Okay. You could just drag your mouse doing that. Using the keyboard is a shortcut in it. For me, it's a faster way to do it. Okay, now I want to make a plot. Insert. And I want it to have lines. I don't want it to just be data points. We can see what that looks like. I want it to have lines. If you do this curved lines, then it's splining, which is extra work. I don't do that, but you want symbols and lines, so I do the straight segments between points. Okay, now I want the plot to be a lot bigger, so I'm going to move it to its own sheet. So you move chart to new chart, world gas production. Okay, and you can see there's a legend down here. I don't like that it goes back to 1960. You know, Excel doesn't make great choices, I don't think, for default values. So I'm going to change it to 1970 to 2025. 1970, 2025. Okay, and then the US is 100 BCF. Let's make this 100. Is that, well, data points off the top, so 105, but 0. make it 110, and then we'll make the major unit every 10, so we have even looking numbers. Now you can see the fonts are super small, so if I go click on the chart, select the whole chart, click on home, I can increase the font size. Okay, and remember these are units of BCF per day. If I wanted to change the line, weight, or symbol, I can double click on the United States. I go to the paint bucket. I can format the line. So the default is the blue line. I can make it a solid line, but pick a different color. Let's pick red. And let's make the width of the line thicker. Okay, and then let's make the markers bigger. All this stuff you're going to want to learn how to use for posterity, for future work. But this just shows you how you can change things around. You can change the fill color. You can change the border of the symbol color. I'm not going to spend any more time on that. But this is how you can generate a line chart, which you're going to need. You'll want to add the y-axis label. X-axis label is not really necessary because it's obvious it's years. So, but you would want to add the y-axis label that said billion cubic feet per day. Okay, I think that ought to get you started and get you to be able to get through some initial plotting, scatter plotting Excel if you haven't done it before.